Hey, what's up guys? Shane here with Rice Creek Bushcraft, out here at the woodpile again. A few days ago, I made a video and I said I was going to be getting a couple of knives in. I did receive them both today. I said they were higher carbon steel knives, and I wanted to not necessarily do a specific knife review, but what I'd like to do is do more of a steel review. What I talked about in my previous video was lower cost steels, higher carbon steels, maybe alloy steels are a little bit more inexpensive than, say, like a really high-end stainless steel like this Falcon-Even F1. This is actually laminated, but it's still a stainless steel and it's pretty expensive. And sometimes guys don't want to spend that kind of money. So what I thought I'd do, this is basically going to be two parts, because this part is going to be me describing what steels we have, what knives we have, and what the tests are going to be. The next video will be me doing very little talking, which you guys may think is great, but doing mostly the cutting tasks. So I'm going to cut paracord. I got a big pile of cardboard. I'm going to cut some of that. We'll probably do a little bit of light batoning. We'll make some feather sticks, you know, just the stuff that we do. And then what we'll do along the way is test the sharpness as we go and see if the alloy or higher carbon steels can compete with the higher end stainless steels. So if that makes any sense at all. I'm just trying to give you guys some options so that you can go out and make an informed purchase on your next knife. It may not be any of these four knives, but maybe something with similar steel, similar properties. So I'm going to talk about these knives and what steels they are and kind of the attributes to each steel, and then I'll stop the video. I'll get all my stuff around for the testing. I'll do that, and I'll try to get both these done today. I think I can get them both done today. So we'll start off with this knife. This is the Falcon-Even F1, which probably anybody that's looked at knives, bushcraft knives, they know what this is. You've seen it. It's got the whatever rubber, I don't know what this is, Kraton thermal run stuff. It's VG10 steel, so it's 420J outside, and VG10, you can kind of see that line where it's laminated. I'm sure you guys probably already know that, but it's a laminated steel. It's a stainless steel. It's an expensive higher end steel. This knife is about we'll just say $135. That's pretty close. So an expensive knife, not super, but it's an expensive knife. So that's our stainless knife. What's stainless? It's steel that we'll say doesn't rust. It can rust in certain conditions, but it's pretty unlikely. They put additives in it to keep it from rusting. Usually one of the big ones is going to be chromium that they'll add to steel to keep it from rusting. It may not be the only one, but it's one of the main ingredients they put in it to keep it from rusting. So we're going to have that knife as our stainless model, our higher end steel model. Then this is my new knife. It's the Ontario Knife Company. See if we can see this. Bushcraft Field Knife. This is 5160 steel. What's 5160? It's a carbon based steel, but they consider it an alloy steel. Okay, and the reason they consider it an alloy steel is they put more chromium in it, not necessarily enough to make it stainless per se, because this will rust and it will corrode, but it's for strength. They put chromium in this to make it stronger, because this is a thin knife. This is 0.12. And that's another thing I had to do, is try to get knives that are close to the same thickness. And I didn't want a 1/4 inch thick knife. I mean, that's not going to be fair for that knife or the others. So this is an alloy steel, so this will be our alloy steel. All of these knives are, I hand ground them on a stone. They're all been convexed, so that part of it will be relatively as fair as can be. One's not a V ground, and one's, you know, something else, a convex. And this knife is it's a Quick Hatch is the guy that makes it. It's called the Quick Lure. This is our tool steel knife. So any tool steel will start with a letter. This is 01. 01 is a spectacular tool steel. It's just really good stuff. It will rust. You can see, I even take care of this, and you can kind of see there's some little spots of rust on it. So 01 inherently rusts extremely easily, but it's a good steel. It's a tough steel. It holds an edge really well. So that will be our tool steel that we're using. Then we have the Becker BK16. This is 1095, so this will be our carbon steel knife we're going to be testing. See, I convex that. It doesn't come that way. I put a convex on it. This came Scandi ground, so we'll call this a Scandi Vex, because then you can see it's been convex. It's not straight Scandi. Some guys love Scandi. I'll tell you what I don't like about it is, yeah, it bites wood well, but it bites wood too well. You kind of get locked in, and it's hard to get nice fine curls. I'm not saying it can't be done with enough practice. There's probably guys that are really good at it. I probably just don't have enough practice with Scandi grinds. I've had a few different knives, and they really cut in real hard. So if I get one, then I convex it out. I just like the way that works wood. You can just kind of angle the blade just ever so slightly and get deeper, you know, get thicker curls or thinner curls. So those are the knives we're going to be testing. We've got stainless, we've got alloy, we've got a tool steel, and we've got a carbon steel. Talking about the steels, a carbon, like this 1095 is a 10XX steel, and it has 0.95% carbon in it. All knives have some form, or all steel has some form of carbon. The main ingredient obviously is iron, and then so a 1095 would, I guess, be considered a pretty simple carbon blade. This is alloy, so they've added chromium and some other things. I can't remember, sulfur or something else they add to it. So then this is considered an alloy. Tool steels, I don't know if there are any. I'm sure there are. Yeah, there's tool steels that are stainless. This one's not. This is 01. It's not stainless. And then we have our straight up stainless knife. So anyways, that's enough talking. I'm gonna put these through some tests, and I've got some printer paper, and along the way, like I said, we'll cut the paper, see which one starts to fail first and which one comes out on top, and we'll see if that helps you guys make a decision. I hope it helps. And then maybe, you know, like this knife, talking price points, I said this is about 135 bucks. That's pretty close. I paid $79 for this. That was with shipping. This knife was custom, so it was about $175, which is pretty reasonable, I think. But tool steel is going to cost you a little more than just $10.95. I don't know what the heck these are. They're under 100 bucks, I think. I've had this for a long time. I'd say they're around $85 to $95 for one of these. So I mean, you got an $80, $80, $90, $175 because it's custom, $135, and we'll put them through the paces and see which ones do the best. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll get to work on this and get the video up today, hopefully. See ya.